If your mind never switches off and you're constantly worrying about things that might go wrong, this video might explain what's exactly happening. If you feel like your mind never switches off, well, this video is for you. Maybe you're awake. Maybe you wake up already thinking about everything that could go wrong. Your mind jumps ahead to the problems that have not even happened yet. You replay conversations and you overthink decisions, and you worry about health, family, money, or things that you cannot even explain. From the outside, you might look like you're coping, you're going to work, showing up for people, and getting through the day. But inside your head, it can feel like there's constant pressure, like the mind is always scanning for the next problem. And you live with the constant worry or anxiety. You probably know exactly what that feels like. You might feel tense most of the time, and your shoulders are tight and your jaw is clenched, and you feel restless or on edge. Sometimes you feel exhausted, and even you have not done anything physically demanding. You might struggle to switch off at night. You lay in bed and your brain starts running through everything that has happened during the day or everything that might happen tomorrow. And maybe you find yourself thinking about the worst case scenarios. You might imagine conversations going badly, relationships falling apart, and financial problems, health problems, or going through something wrong in your life. And the strange thing about anxiety is that even when you know that you're worrying too much, it just doesn't stop. People often tell themselves that things like, just stop worrying, just relax, and just think positive. But if you have lived with anxiety, you know it does not work like that. Anxiety is not simply overthinking. It's your mind and body trying to protect you. And, well, your brain is designed to look for threats. Thousands of years ago, that is exactly helped humans survive. It helped us stay alert to danger. The problem is the same system that is used to protect us from physical danger now often reacts to emotional, financial, social, or even life pressures. Your brain is trying to keep you safe, but ends up leaving you stuck in a constant state of alert. And when that happens, your mind can start scanning for problems all of the time. So what if something goes wrong? What if I make the decision that is wrong? What if I disappoint someone? What if I cannot cope? And what if something bad happens? It can feel like your brain is always searching for the next problem that it needs solving. Some people describe anxiety as having a mind that never stops. Even when things are going really well, the mind always finds something to worry about. You solve one problem, and then almost immediately your brain moves on to the next one. And over that time, it can become very exhausting. Many people who live with anxiety are actually very responsible people. They care deeply about their work, their relationships, and their responsibilities. And they think ahead, they plan, and they try to do the right thing every single time. But that sense of responsibility can sometimes turn into pressure. The pressure to get everything right. The pressure to not let anybody down. The pressure to stay in control of everything. And when life becomes uncertain or stressful, the mind tries to solve it by thinking more. But thinking more doesn't always create calm. Sometimes it creates more anxiety. And one of the things that I often say to people is this: an anxious mind is not a weak mind. It is usually a mind that has been carrying too much for far too long. Many people with anxiety have been in situations where they have had to be strong. They may have had to experience stress, trauma, major life changes, health issues, financial pressure, family responsibilities, or the emotional impact of a disability or injury. And when somebody spends a long time managing stress or trying to hold things together, the nervous system, well, it can become used to staying in a heightened state of alert. So even when life slows down a little bit, the mind still feels like it needs to be switched on all the time. This is one of the reasons why anxiety can feel very confusing. Sometimes people say, nothing terrible is happening in my life right now, so why do I feel this way? But anxiety is not always about what is happening today. Sometimes it's about everything in your mind and your body have been carrying for over a long time. Another thing that people experience with anxiety is the feeling of being stuck in their own head. You might replay conversations again and again and again. And you might think about something that you said and worried that it might have sounded wrong. You might go over decisions repeatedly, wondering if you have chosen the right option. And sometimes people describe it as their brain running through hundreds and hundreds of possible outcomes before anything has ever happened. That can make even the simple things feel very overwhelming. Small decisions suddenly feel very big. and you might second guess yourself consistently. You might feel like you can never fully relax because your mind is always trying to keep one step ahead. And over time, that constant mental activity can drain your energy, and you might start to feel emotionally exhausted, and you might struggle to sleep. You might feel irritable, overwhelmed very, very easily. And sometimes people start to avoid situations that trigger anxiety. Other times they push themselves through situations, but extremely they feel stressed while doing it. One of the hardest things about anxiety is that people often keep it hidden. From the outside, they look like they're coping, they're working on helping others, keeping life moving. But inside, they feel like they've been barely keeping things together. Some people feel embarrassed about their anxiety. They worry that others might think that they're weak or overreacting. And they might tell themselves that other people have bigger problems, so they should not have anything to complain about. But anxiety is not something that you have to minimize or ignore. Your experience matters. Your mind feels consistently busy, tense, or overwhelmed. That is honestly worth paying attention to. And one of the things that counselling can offer in this space to slow down, space to talk openly about what's going on in your mind, space to understand why your anxiety is happening and what might help you manage it differently. Counselling is not about being judged or being told to simply stop worrying. Good counselling is about understanding the patterns that your mind has developed, understanding the pressures you are carrying, and understanding the experiences that may have shaped the way your nervous system reacts to stress. And when people begin talking about their anxiety in a safe environment, something often changes. For many people, it's the first time that they've been able to say things out loud that they've been holding on to for many, many years. And sometimes it's just about putting those thoughts into words that can honestly reduce the pressure. Because anxiety grows stronger when it stays trapped inside your mind. And once it's spoken about and explored, it often becomes easier to understand. Another things that happen in counselling is learning practical ways to manage anxiety. It might involve learning ways to calm the body when anxiety starts rising. And it might involve exploring thought patterns to keep anxiety cycling. And it might involve building strategies that help you feel more grounded, more stable, and more in control. And one important thing to understand is that anxiety does not mean something is wrong with you as a person. It usually means that your mind has been trying to protect you for a very long time. But protection can sometimes become overprotection. Your brain keeps sounding like an alarm when there's no danger actually there. Part of counselling is helping your body and mind relearn what safety feels like. That does take time. And it's not about forcing your thoughts to disappear. It's about how to learn and how to respond to them deeply. And it's about helping your nervous system move out of that constant alert mode. It's about creating moments where your mind can finally rest. Many people who start counselling for anxiety initially worry about one thing. They worry about they will not know what to say. And that's okay. That's completely normal. You do not need to come into counselling with everything perfectly explained. You do not have to have all the answers. Not at all. And often the starting point is simply saying, I feel overwhelmed, or my mind will not switch off. From there, we can explore things together. We talk about what life has been like for you. We can talk about when anxiety started becoming more noticeable. And we can talk about situations that make it stronger. And when we talk about things that may actually help you reduce the grip on your life. Counselling is not about fixing you. It's about helping you understand yourself more clearly and building tools that help you move forward. And over time, many people begin to notice small but important changes. Their thoughts, they feel less chaotic. Their body feels less tense and they feel more able to pause instead of immediately reacting to worry. And they can feel more confident about managing things that once overwhelmed them. It doesn't mean life becomes perfect, but it often becomes more manageable. And that sense of manageability can make huge differences to somebody's daily life. And if you have been living with constant worry, racing thoughts, or anxiety that simply will not switch off, you don't have to carry that alone. There is support available. That's one thing you need to be aware of. There is support available. My work, it focuses on practical, down-to-earth counselling for adults and young people who are navigating anxiety, stress, trauma, injury, or even major life transitions. And many of the people that I work with, they're not in full crisis. They are people who have been coping for a long time, and they're starting to feel the weight of everything they have been carrying. If you have been feeling like your mind never slows down, counselling may actually help you. If this resonates with you, you are welcome to reach out to me. Sometimes the first step is simply having a conversation to see whether counselling might be the right fit for you. And if somebody you know or you might think that is struggling with anxiety or constant worry, please share this video with them as well. No one should feel like they have to deal with everything on their own. And of course, next time, make sure you subscribe and like this video, and we'll see you on the next one.